1 Corinthians chapter 13. It says love is patient. Wow. It says love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. Love isn't rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. If love doesn't keep a record of wrongs, and if God keeps a record of wrongs, that means He doesn't love us. So many times in church life, someone will get behind the pulpit and make you feel as if you're wretched. They will make you feel sinful when you tell your kids, you're a wicked child. Is that good for your children? If I keep telling my child, you're wretched, you're wicked, you're not good enough to be in my presence, there's something really sick about that. You see, the Old Testament says that man is not good enough to stand in God's presence, but Jesus proved that wrong. Did God not come out of heaven and come right down here to planet Earth and sit down and eat with sinners? Did sinners stand in His presence, eat in His presence? In fact, Jesus, who is very God, He actually washed the feet of sinners. When my kids do wrong, should I resent them or help them? When you look at the Greek word aphiemi, which has been translated by the metalanguage gloss, unfortunately, as forgiveness, it actually means simply to help that individual. For those God foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the likeness of His Son. How many people did God foreknow? Some or all? This is God. This is God who knew us from the very beginning. He predetermined something for people without asking them. That's what parents do all the time. We predetermine certain things to happen for our kids. I want you to look at this aorist tense chain that he uses here. And those that He predestined, He also called. And those that He called, He also justified. He doesn't say, I justified them because they believed. There's nothing in this chain that indicates that I need to do anything but say thank you. Those God foreknew. He knew exactly what you would go through in life, and we should say thank God for that. I'm not catching Him by surprise. He knew that I would mess up. He knew that I would transgress. He knew that I would have problems. He knew that I would be raised in circumstances that really hindered me in life. He knew all of that. Even though He knew all of these things, He went ahead and predestined me anyway. You know, when I look at my children, I see a lot of value in them. In fact, when God looks at His creation, He says that He sees His likeness in us. And He looks at us and He's in love with us. What God is saying is, you're good enough for Him. Some of you guys may not feel that way. You may not feel good enough for God, but God says you're good enough. That's what Romans 5:1 simply says when He says, "Decau authentis uniquis Deus." He's simply saying, according to what truth is, the value of truth, you're good enough. Paul went on to say, nothing can separate us from His love. There's nothing that can separate us from His love. We've got a great parent. His name is God. He demonstrated His love by becoming a human being called Jesus. And I don't care who you are this morning. God loves you unconditionally. I don't care how many mistakes that you make in life. You need to realize that God is here to help you. You need to walk out of here and say, you know, I'm good enough to stand in God's presence. I'm His kid.